Howdy, folks. So I recorded this video a few days ago, and unfortunately one of the settings on my primary camera was incorrect. That's going to make the screen a little bit darker. Thankfully that wasn't the case on the B-roll camera, which is the close-ups of all the work that I'm doing. So hopefully you'll get what you need to see from that. But in case you're wondering, no, it's not your monitor or anything like that. It's just the ISO setting was set too low. And bear with me, and I still hope that I'm able to put this together so you can enjoy and learn from it. Thank you.
What's going on, guys? Rob with Oddball RV. So the last couple of videos I did a engine compression test on this engine. Again, I knew it was going to be zero because I blew it when I was at Pismo Beach. There is a video on that. You guys can check that out. I did a borescope. We took a look at it and we saw that there was damage around the piston ring. So obviously it's going to need a rebuild. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to start tearing this thing apart. So I'm going to put these on a little time lapses. I'll come in, I'll kind of say what I'm talking about, or I'm sorry, I'm going to put this on a time lapse and I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing as I'm going, and I might come back and talk a little bit kind of explaining what the process is. The first portion to do this is we got to get the seat out. I have the Oddball ORV Razor seat pan plate in my machine, and so I got to take the seat out, I got to take the seat belt buckles off and everything. Alright, so I had to do some scrounging in the shop here. I have a kind of set aside piece of Tupperware for this because it makes it a lot easier. But anyways, we're going to use this real quick. I got to run my wrench and some paper towels here. Okay, so draining the water out of these water-cooled heads can be kind of a pain because there doesn't seem to be a great way to do it. If you're smart and you put a valve here, then you can have like a little twist that you could turn to undo it. I didn't do that when I put this in, so just kind of working with what I have. So what I found out though is that I have a exhaust pros an EGT gauge right here. Now not everybody has that, I understand, but it actually is really handy that I can put my Tupperware container right there and it holds, which is fantastic. Now, if you don't have an EGT gauge, unfortunately you're not going to get the benefit of this, and you have to come up with some other way to handle it. But in order to drain the fluid out, you don't have to undo the hose, just undo the fitting, and then you just let it drain. It's just going to take a little bit of time. So I'm going to turn it, and it'll start draining out. Alright. Now, it also does help. You're going to have to take the top or the cap off. That'll allow some air in the system. There we go. That should drain it out. Can't always get it perfect. You're gonna make a mess no matter what you do. It's just inevitable, but at least we're catching most of it here. I don't want it to go that way. I already got a mess down below. Alright, there we go. Now, of course, paper towels. Did make a little bit of a mess underneath. Not my best, but better than most. So I've had quite a few puddles on the floor doing this, and this seems to work fairly well. Just a small little splotch on the bottom. Just keep that wiped up. Should just about do it. So I'm just going to blow a little bit of air into the radiator tank, and that's just to try and eliminate the rest of the liquid that's there. This isn't really a great setup to do it this way, but let's see if that helps. Next, we got to gently remove this. So lose it. Put the cap on so your dog doesn't come and think it's some sweet water to drink. And we're going to set this to the side over here. Alright, so the next thing we got to do is we've got to remove the air cooling scoops, for lack of a better way to call it. So I think it's a 10mm wrench, and there's about 3 different bolts. So we're going to remove them just so we have better access to the engine and everything. Probably don't actually have to remove the seat pan like I thought. A little bit of wasted effort there, but remove the heat shield. I got the bolts taken out. If I got to do it real quick, I can do it. Seat pan just slides forward, so what I can do is just slide that forward. There we go. I got plenty of room. All right, we get the cameras repositioned here, so we can actually see. The first thing we got to do is we got to take this head off here. This is for the water temperature gauge. There it is. It's 14. So we're just going to gently undo this. There we go. Okay. That undoes our probe. So you'll notice that I have a little bit of water leakage here, and that's because I never put some proper thread, Teflon tape or anything on this. So when I put it back in, I definitely will be doing that next time around. All right, so that takes care of that. This guy was the ground for that, and it unfortunately just pulled out. So we're not going to do anything with that. Okay, so now we're going to undo this fitting up here. Okay. Go. There we go. Should just be able to thread this. Move that out of the way. Again, we'll be putting some Teflon tape on these threads to keep it from leaking. I should have done that when I installed it, but what do you know. All right, now the next thing, it's a real pain. This is some sort of weird, I guess it's a American size Allen head. And I keep a little box of Allen screws from any IKEA furniture and junk like that, and that being all metric, none of those would fit here, so I have to use this little multi-Allen wrench deal. It's not the worst thing, it's just a little bit of a pain. A little bulkier than I prefer in this tight space. We have everything removed. Here's the big moment we've all been waiting for. I'll take off the top of the head. Take a little look-see here. Alright, socket set. So we're going to start undoing these. Now these, I believe, are only supposed to be about 18 to 20 to 18 pounds of force. So when you are tightening these things, you got to do it with a torque wrench. Don't screw around on this. You screw it up, and you're not going to be a happy camper.
Hey folks, so just a little bit of a commentary here. I got stuck for a little bit trying to get this off. It was pretty tight. And I tried a few things, tapping the screw heads a little bit here and just little taps to see if the vibration could get it off. Wasn't successful. So I ended up using a screwdriver. And if you use a screwdriver, you got to be very, very careful. You can easily break off a fend. And you'll see what I'm commenting here is how to do it and where to do it. So take a note of that and keep it in mind.
There's a little bit of more support. Oh, there we go. All right, moved up a little bit. So if you do use a screwdriver, make sure that you do it over here. There's a little more support because there's rings right here. And again, very, very gently, and I'm pushing it all the way back, and that just kind of got it to lift up a little bit, which is what we needed. And I think we should be able to rock it back and forth. Not sure if we're coming up or not. Just get a little tappy tap. Just very gently. Okay, very gently, and you do risk breaking those fends if you're not gentle, so you've been warned. Okay, there's that. So take a look at the cylinder head here. Looks pretty good. We'll do some cleanup on that, but it doesn't look like there's any damage on that that's of concern. So we'll go ahead and put that down over here. Now I don't know what to do. Let's see what we can see though. Reposition this camera a little bit. Rotate the crankshaft. Okay, there we go. Now clearly, I'm not even sure if you can see it at that angle. Might have to reposition this still a little more. I think you can see it. So what's going on here is the little hole, this whole portion of my piston. And let's see. Yeah, not very tight in there at all. So she's overdue, no doubt about that. Let's come down a little bit, see if, yeah, a little bit of debris there. So the next question is, how do we remove the jug? And that is an area that I'm not really certain on, so I'm gonna have to do some research and figure out exactly what the proper way to do this. So I'm gonna call it here. You'll probably see all this in one video clip once I get back and do my research and whatnot, but I'm gonna have to go figure out what to do next. So stay tuned, folks.